Firestorm, the Nuclear Man. More pages, more action, more super thrills. Multiplex is back to steal my power, and he's tearing me in two. Two men, fused by a bizarre nuclear explosion. One is Nobel Prize-winning physicist Professor Martin Stein. The other is teenager Ronnie Raymond, and together they form Firestorm. Again, Multiplex. Meet the hyena. The hyena has a problem, an obsessive hatred of authority, particularly the authority of the New York City police. Just mention the cops, and the hyena goes wild. But don't take our word for it. Ask Firestorm. You see, he made that mistake last issue, and he may be about to pay for it with his life. This guy's wacko. I say one word about calling the cops to cart off the crooks I captured, and the next thing I know, pow, this jerk hits me. And it hurts. Professor Stein, you've got to help me. Sorry, Ronald, but my assistance is purely advisory. Our bodies may have been joined together by a freak nuclear accident, but your mind is in control of our union, not mine. Terrific. I ask for help, and you give me a science lecture. You're worse than some of my teachers. Rats! What's wrong with me? Every time I try to zap this hyena with a nuclear blast, I miss. He's just moving too fast. Ah, now look what I've done. One of my misses hit the cage I made to hold those thieves till the cops show up. They're splitting, and I'm too hung up to stop them. But as the old maxim says, one man's poison is another man's veal parmesan, or something like that. Good, my boys escaped. Now they can't finger me as the brains who planned this warehouse ripoff. The spit-shine luck is still going strong. Yeah, well, too bad the same can't be said for Firestorm. Yow! Those claws are razor sharp. One real solid slash, and I'll be dog food. What's with you anyway? Why pick on me? The morning news says you captured some robbers yourself last night. Doesn't that put us on the same side? The same side? The same side? You wanted to summon the police. You wanted to help them. Ha 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 ha. That makes you as bad as they are. What a fruitcake. It's true I hate criminals. It's true I'm a scavenger of crime. Ronald, withdraw. The hyenas is a ruthless infighter. Your atomic restructuring powers are useless at such close quarters. In heaven's name, Ronald, get out of there! You're telling me. He blocks every shot. Yes, like the true hyena of the African plains, I too steal the prey of the predators. But where the bestial hyena steals food from a lion, I steal loot from a crook, but not for the cops. Never for the cops. Yeah. You don't have the hyena's skill or experience. We'll be slashed to ribbons. Can't move, Professor. My head's spinning. Too dazed to defend myself. I'm going down. And as the nuclear man staggers under the hyena's savage onslaught. My lord, this is terrible. First a fire in that fur warehouse opposite the school. Now a battle between two crazed costume crime fighters? When I accepted the post of Bradley High's principal, I knew I'd be dealing with a dangerous neighborhood. But who would have imagined this? And to think, this once was the quietest area in Upper Manhattan. It's enough to... Dear God! I just noticed, in that car parked across the street. Spit Shine, son of New York's most notorious mob overlord. If Shine's here, that fire must have been a diversion. Spit Shine wants more than a handful of stolen fur coats. He must want me. If I can just slip out the rear door unnoticed. No, I have to warn the man Shine really wants. Answer. For God's sake, answer the... Hello? Thank heaven you're in. This is Wallace Hapgood. Yes, I know. But this is urgent, my friend. Your old enemies must know you're back in town. Listen carefully. No time to explain. So there's more to Ronnie Raymond's principle than meets the eye, but to learn how much more, we'll have to wait. In the meantime, at the downtown medical center, a few miles south. So that's our special security patient. The one we're holding for the New York City police until he comes out of coma. Doesn't seem like much. What did you say his name was? Danton Black. I don't know the full story on him. Apparently, he's a nuclear engineer who worked on the new Hudson power plant up in Westchester with Professor Martin Stein. They say Black went berserk. Just what he did, I'm not sure. Anyway, the authorities want us to keep him isolated. And we have. But if you want my opinion, it's all a little melodramatic. Eh? Did you notice the light blink? Blink? It's gone out. Must be defective. Call maintenance and have them... What on earth? Now all the corridor lights are blinking off. Listen, the whole building is powering down. Something wrong with the generators. But how could... The intern's question goes unanswered, and in the next instant becomes decidedly irrelevant, as... The isolation room! It's blowing apart! Look out! And simultaneously, in the street outside Bradley High, where things are little better than they were moments before. Ronald, it is imperative that you aren't injured. Who knows how it might affect our separate bodies if Firestorm's fused body is... Will you please shut up? I'm doing my best. I don't need you dumping on me too. Ha ha ha! This exercise has continued long enough. I'm bored and tired. I'm going to finish you, cop lover. With a small caress from my vibro claws. Ha ha ha! Oh boy. I built these toys for special occasions. Diamond edge claws vibrating at ultrasonic frequency. Sharp, aren't they? Imagine what they'll do to you. Ronald. Quiet, Professor. I've got one shot before he jumps. And if I miss, I'm a dead man. But miss he does. Or does he? You changed the support struts on that power line tower into tinfoil. Perhaps not an orthodox use of your atomic restructuring powers, but an effective one. Still, we came terribly close to being killed. Next time, we... Professor. No more next time for me. This isn't fun. It's murder. I'm through. Punk, I don't know who you're talking to. Ugh. But I couldn't agree with you more. Some superhero. All that fire on his head must have melted his brains. He didn't even hear me sneaking up on him. What the hell? If we can't grab Hapgood, we'll grab this punk hyena. At least this way I'll have something to show my mom and dad. Hey, he ain't heavy at all. Most of this costume is padding. Padding or not, I sure don't want to be around when he wakes up. Hey boss, what about the other one? Waste him? Leave him. Don't you hear those sirens? Somebody finally called the cops. Ow. Slugged from behind by a crummy gangster. That cuts it. I've had it with the superhero scene. Ronald, you're not serious. Turning our composite self into a superhero was your idea. Now, when we're becoming good at it, you want to quit? You bet, Professor. I'm just your average high schooler, remember? I can't deal with this life and death stuff anymore. Sorry, but I've got enough problems of my own. Uh-huh, and here's one now. Cliff Carmichael, the ever-popular school smartmouth. Huh? Isn't that Firestorm? What's he doing in the schoolyard? Yow! Bright light. I can't see. That jerk's a menace. Great. Now I've got spots before my... Hey? Wait a second. Firestorm's gone, and someone's slipping into the school. Hot ships! That must be Firestorm's secret identity. Sure, it all fits. A few days back, Firestorm jumped on me and said he'd heard from sources that I'd been bad-mouthing him. Sources my shoehorn. Firestorm's somebody at Bradley High. But who? If only that bright light hadn't dazed me, I'd know for sure. But maybe I can still figure it out scientifically. Yeah, and when I do, I'll be famous. That'll show him, boy. Hey Carmichael, you creep. That term paper you sold me was a stinker. Teach gave me an F-. Just wait till I get you after school. Let's see. The way he acted, Firestorm hates my guts. Okay, that narrows it down. Watch where you're going, turkey. All I've got to do is make a list. Hey Carmichael, you creep. My girl says you bothered her at the dance. Do it again, and I'll fix your face. A short list. Shouldn't be too hard. Clifford, you know the school policy about fighting in the halls. Be down in the gym at 3 o'clock. We'll see if you're as fast with your feet as you are with your mouth. 50 laps around the track. And Carmichael, I'll enjoy this. Of course I'll have to include some teachers, too. Maybe this will be more complicated than I thought. Hi, Carmichael. Have you seen Doreen around? I have a date with her and her sister for after school. Go sit on a tack, will you, Raymond? I'm busy. Somebody at Bradley High. But who? And as a bewildered Cliff Carmichael continues past a bemused Ronnie Raymond, less than a block away, an equally bewildered Professor Martin Stein makes a frantic phone call. McCarran? It's happened again. Another blackout, Professor, like the ones you told me about in the office. I wondered what happened to you. You disappeared before I could begin shadowing you as we agreed. Sure, Professor. Stay there. I'll pick you up in 30 minutes. Exactly 29 minutes later. This isn't a normal part of our service, Stein, but you sounded desperate. Get in. I want us to talk. And at that same moment, in a midtown office building. You stupid halfwit! Bringing him here? I oughta... Ugh! Aw, gee, why'd you have to hit me in front of the boys? How are they gonna respect me if you treat me like dirt? It just isn't fair. Ma? You want respect? Then don't act like a baboon. First you try to snatch Hapgood without clearing it with me or your dad, and when you botch that, you grab a refugee from a Wolfman movie. For once in your life, be like your brother, and think. Listen to your mother, Spit. Crime is a business these days. Folks don't get kidnapped in a business, son. But that's what you used to do. You told me how you were gun runners back in Prohibition days. You snatched congressmen, senators, once even the mayor of Syracuse, just to keep the cops from closing your operation. I thought, shut up. Them days were different. That was before your dad spent 15 years in jail. We're still the top mob in New York, but we're respectable now. We're in politics. And you dumb jerk, you want to set us back 30 years. Now, Ma, don't hurt the boy. He meant well. Shoo, you're too blasted soft. Ma, don't forget who's head of this family. Maybe you were boss while I sat in the slammer, but I'm home now, and Spit's my boy too. He was just trying to get Hapgood so we could find our old friend Rockwell. He chose the wrong time, that's all. Have it your way, Shoo. We still don't need that walking rug. Dump him in the bay, boys, before he wakes up. Too late, Mothershine. Too late by a long shot. Rah! With a shrug, the waking hyena throws off the gangster guards like a hound shaking fleas. And then springs the length of the room, claws flashing, a laughing snarl bubbling deep within slavering jaws. He's crazy! Shoot him, Ma! Shoot! Just get your head down, Shoo. I'll blast that sucker clean back to Canarsie. Ha 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 ha! But though Mothershine's machine gun spits bullets with deadly accuracy, the hyena moves with even greater skill and speed. And before Mothershine can shift aim, the savage scavenger is gone. A dwindling shape soon lost in the city's sprawling shadows. Ma, did you see his eyes? That crazy clown wanted to kill me. But why me? I've never even seen him before. God knows, Shu, but I've got a sure feeling he'll be back. And next time, we'll waste him but good. Time now to look in on the teen half of the Firestorm fusion, as Ronnie Raymond leads Doreen Day into the offices of the New York News Express. Sorry your sister Summer couldn't be here, Doreen. I wanted both of you to meet Dad. I'm sorry too, Ronnie. But I can't imagine where she's gone off to. After her meeting with Principal Hapgood, before that fire, she disappeared. She didn't even wait to tell me if she'd gotten the teaching job. She just vanished. Hate to say it, Doreen, but your sister's a little weird. Hi. I'm looking for my dad, Edward Raymond. He's a reporter here. Do you know where I can find him? Say, sure. Ed Raymond. You must be his kid, Ronnie. My name's Hildy. Hildy Park. Sorry, but your dad stepped out. Oh, great. That's swell. I told him I wanted to bring some friends here to see how the papers run. And what does he do? He leaves me high and dry. Like always. Don't be too hard on him, Ron. He got a phone call before he left. And from his expression, it looked important. Probably a tip. New reporters have to hustle for their stories. And even though your dad's one of the best, he did come into the business pretty late. Huh? What are you talking about? Dad's been a reporter for 20 years. Ron, your father started reporting only a few years ago. What he did before that, I can't say, but he wasn't in the newspaper biz. You're nuts. Dad's been a reporter all his life. He wouldn't lie to me. He wouldn't. Ronnie, we better go. Please? And as a stunned Ronnie Raymond allows himself to be led from the News Express building, not far away, at the downtown medical center. Let's get this straight. You say this guy drained energy from a bunch of light bulbs and then blasted a hole through 2 feet of concrete wall? Come on, Doc. Come clean. A gas main blew up and you're covering up, right? Wrong. Officer, Danton Black is obviously far more than a mere man. Ask your superiors. He once was a supervillain named Multiplex. Sure, Doc. How do you spell that? Multiplex? Call the commissioner, man. He'll tell you. Multiplex is a menace. He absorbs energy, uses it to gain super strength. You have to stop him. Right, Doc. Why don't we run it down again? From the beginning. At that moment, in a bar near the offices of McGarren Investigations, Inc. Tell me again, Professor. You say you've had these blackouts ever since an accident at the nuclear plant you designed up in Westchester? And they worry me, McGarren. Am I losing my mind? All my life, I've believed in scientific explanations. But this? Blacking out? Waking miles from where I should be? It's a nightmare. That's why I want to be followed. I must know what I do, no matter how unthinkable. Maybe you drink, Professor. The way you're slugging down those Boilermakers, it's a miracle you know where you are now. And, as a desperately worried Martin Stein talked with a skeptical Liam McGarren, elsewhere in the city, a familiar costumed figure stalks the late afternoon streets. Ha 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 ha! Scattering crowds with a near demonical laugh, as he drains energy from movie marquees, bus engines, light poles, and gas-driven dynamos. And with each new power surge, his laugh shrills wilder and his eyes flare mad, for he is Multiplex, the duplicate menace. And he prepares for an act of bloody vengeance. Not long after, at the 57th Street subway entrance. Feeling better, Ronnie? I guess so. Thanks for letting me walk off my anger, Doreen. What that girl said about Dad just made me so mad. Maybe because I guessed it's the truth. I mean, I've wondered about Dad a long time. Why we've always moved from city to city, never staying anywhere long enough for me to make friends. Why Dad won't talk about Mom, and how she died. Why he gets so moody sometimes. Poor Ronnie. I can see how upset he is. From what he said, he and his father have never gotten along. And now this? Why would his father lie to him? That's what I can't understand. Huh? Gangway, you stupid kid! Run! For heaven's sake! Run! What the? Has everyone flipped out? Let me out of here. He's coming this way. Who's coming which way? Will somebody tell me what's... Oh my god. It's Multiplex. He's loose, back in costume, and somehow he's pulling power from the subway's third rail. More. And then I can split again. Divide myself once more. Yes. But I thought Multiplex only absorbed atomic energy. That's how he got his powers, in the same explosion that fused me and Professor Stein into Firestorm. With him, it had an opposite effect, giving him the power to split in two. Holy Hannah, if he can absorb any kind of energy, he'll be invincible. Huh? That train speeding into the station. It's on a collision course. Oh lord, no room to brake. That guy's gonna be flattened. Hey, my eye's going bad? He's getting all blurry. Multiplex is splitting apart. When he does that, he becomes super strong. Like a human atomic bomb. Yeah! Ronnie Raymond's next action is instinctive. Gone are the fears of a few hours before. With an effort of will, he mentally reaches out to the man whose life is unwittingly tied to Ronnie's own. Just one more drink. Try to forget. Good grief, either Stein's a lush, or a man with sincere fears, trying to drown them in drink. I believe Stein's been telling the truth. And as he has 6 times before, Ronnie joins with Stein despite the distance, summoning the scientists into instantaneous fusion. A process that leaves a certain detective suitably stunned. Come on, Stein, I'm talking to you Huh? He's gone. Teleportation or simultaneous transportation, the name doesn't matter, and the effect is simple. A man vanishes from a bar, and a teenager disappears from a subway platform, and in their stead, there is Firestorm. Good thing Doreen ran off with the crowd, otherwise I'd have some heavy explaining to do as Ronnie Raymond. Hey, something's weird. I feel woozy, off balance. I'm flying too fast. Multiplex sees me. No time to turn before he... This is almost too good to be true. It's the same punk who beat me the first time I became Multiplex. But that was before I figured out how to control my powers. Now I'm going to pound him into asphalt. Ha ha ha. Well, Ronald, my boy. What a pleasant surprise. I thought you decided to quit this superhero game. Changed your mind, eh? My boy, I'm proud of you. Uh-oh. Professor Stein sounds sick. And if he's sick, I'm sick. What'll I do? You better do something, hero. And you better do it fast. Bought myself a few seconds, but that's all. Multiplex can't fly, but down in a tunnel, that gives me a pretty slim advantage. Especially since I'm so dizzy. How can I stop him? Professor, some advice, quick. You've got a nuclear blast, Ronnie boy. Use it. Knock that bum into the Stone Age. The direct approach, huh? Suits me, Professor. Grab your socks, Bobsy twins. You're going back to Sleepy Land. What? Wait a minute. Am I crazy? Multiplex feeds on energy. If my blast hits him, I'll give him more power. Gotta divert it, but I'm leaving myself wide open for... Sorry about that, Ronald. Guess I wasn't thinking. Just give me a second. I'll come up with a real plan. Professor, I don't have a second. He's murdering me. Feel like mine's stuffed with cotton. Lord help me. Lord help Ronald. I can't seem to think. The boy needs me, and I'm failing him. Have to shake it off. Get my mind working again. But everything seems so fuzzy. I can't. Ronald, forgive me. Now, Firestorm, you've got so much nuclear energy packed in that scrawny frame. You're going to give some to me. Pain, in agony beyond imagining, like the rending of a wound. Ronald, Multiplex is absorbing too much energy. It's weakening our fusion. We're ripping apart. And it's killing us. Pain, like a sword of dry ice, cleaving the fog wrapping Firestorm's mind, like cold wind through steam. I've split from the professor. He's too woozy to think, but I'm not. But so what? I'm only a teenager, a B- jock. Professor Stein's the genius, not me. Still, the ball's in my court. I've gotta shoot. And fast. Multiplex is grabbing so much energy, he'll soon be able to divide into 1,000... Hey, that's the answer. If Multiplex wants my nuclear energy, he can have it. And boy, I hope he chokes on it. No! Too much! Too much! Can't contain it. I'm overloading. Ah! Huh? I'm still in one piece. Fantastic. But where's Multiplex? What if I goofed? Maybe he didn't blow a fuse like I figured. Maybe he... Blast you, Firestorm! I'll get you for this. You think you've won? But you only know half of it. Wowza. Multiplex did divide into 1,000 beings. But since the division was so sudden, none of them is over 3 inches tall. It's not exactly what I hoped for, but who's complaining? The worst he can do now is bite my knee. Looks like the fun's over, fellas. Only things here are some dressed up rabbits and a dude with, flaming hair. Epilogue. Though stunned, the police and reporters hear out the nuclear man's explanation without interruption, and then, once appropriate orders have arranged for Multiplex's collection... Some personal questions, pal. First off, what's your name again? Firestorm. Can I get a copy of that photo? Sure. Now about the hair bit. Does it hurt? Go cram it in your ear, needle nose. Yeah, go cram it in your ear. Uh-oh. Did I say that? I don't feel so good. Maybe I better be moving along. Catch that? He acts like he swallowed a brewery. You know, I swear I even heard him talking to himself. Just what New York needs. A fruitcake with superpowers. Buddy, I'm moving to Cleveland. But first, I'll grab some pictures. Otherwise my editor will think I'm the fruitcake. Smile, you little buggers. What the? Popping like stretched out soap bubbles. What do you suppose that means, Chuck? Believe me, pal. Whatever it is, it can't be good. Whew. Sure made a mess of that press conference. But at least my head's finally clearing. I just realized I never learned what Multiplex was planning, or how he could drain electrical power as well as atomic. Wonder what... Please, did you see a boy down there? Your height, brown hair? No. You better look yourself. Swell. Now I've got Doreen worried about me. Maybe this superhero thing is too big for a teenager. It sure seems like it's too much for me. See? He doesn't even suspect. He thinks he defeated the original me in that subway, but he doesn't know. I divided myself before going down there. He crushed my duplicate. Not me. Not Multiplex. And how fortunate I stayed up here to watch. Otherwise I never would have met you. You came here because you hate him too. Hate him? Oh yes. Ha 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 ha. What a team we'll be. But first, planning. We must plan. And someday soon, Firestorm will die. Next issue, The Abduction of Wallace Hapgood, The Truth About Edward Raymond, and the senses-searing power of Typhoon, Master of Wind and Sea.